What's up, grappling fans? First episode of 2020 for Who's Number One. Very excited to be back. We hope everyone had a great holiday season there. Joining me today, we have Michael Sears here on my right. Ryan Smith there is in the back, and our favorite Canadian, Ricardo Amendolia, the voice of jiu-jitsu, is calling in. Welcome back, guys. Everyone have a good break?
Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. Chase, lost your mustache over the break?
I did. Improved look. I know that's going to disappoint some people out there, but I see Ricardo shaking his head. But it was time for a change. New year, new face. But welcome. Very excited to be
disappointed. So disappointed in you, Chase.
Anyways, we just opened up the show there with one of the nomination videos for the FloGrappling Awards. As you guys may have noticed, we are running those. We have 4 categories this year: Best Male Grappler, Best Female Grappler, Submission of the Year, and Match of the Year. The voting period is open now. You can see all those videos on FloGrappling.com, and it will extend until January 7th. That's next Tuesday. That's your last day to get your vote in, and the awards will be announced 2 days later on the 9th. So that is a fun time for everybody.
On Fistful next week, right? The awards go on a Fistful.
It'll be on Thursday on technically the Fistful of Callers time slot, which we're using right now. We've borrowed it because no one was going to come into work yesterday on January 1st, but it's now the new dawn. We're back in the season, back in the studio. And also some big updates occurred over the break there. Michael, we signed a couple more matches for Who's Number One. Tell me about those.
Yeah, a lot's happened since we were back last in the studio before Christmas. We got our 2 main events, our co-main event, our main event for the event, and I'm very excited about them. We have a big one we just signed the other day is Kenan Cornelius versus Roberto, and also Nicholas Marigali versus Victor Hugo. So 2 very big matches. First off, Ricardo, what do you think about this Roberto-Keenan matchup? What do you think? How do you think that one matches up?
I love it. You know, when Keenan first came onto the scene in the international scene at black belt, he was the hottest brown belt prospect in the world. He was the first American brown belt to be on the cover of Gracie Mag. We didn't even have his black belt yet. There was so much hype, so much momentum going, with Keenan at that time. And Roberto is basically the same thing now. So it's a clash of generations, even though Keenan is a new black belt. He's not like an older black belt. He's not an old generation, but he's been black belt for a few years. But I love this match. I think it's really intriguing. I think that stylistically it's great because Keenan, he's the worm guard, lapel guard maniac, but he's generally a slower starter, whereas Roberto's a fast-paced starter. So I love this match.
I think that's a spot-on analysis there, Ricardo. We were just talking about there how about Roberto is just kind of balls to the wall. He's going to go for it. He's got nothing to lose here. Keenan, of course, a legend, and if Roberto just has a strong showing, it'll be considered a win for him.
You can't count Roberto out of anything. Like I've counted him out too many times, where he can get a back take from anywhere, anytime, and tap people that you think he's gonna beat or he's gonna lose to. And I mean, something I think that's pretty interesting about this is like Roberto sort of. I mean, Keenan was running things at the color belts, purple belt, double grand slam. Then Roberto comes and wins the open class at Worlds, taps everybody. So they both were really dominant color belts. It sort of goes with the theme of like Who's Number One, showcasing the color belts. These are guys who did it, and now they're at the black belt level. I'm very excited to see how this matchup plays out.
Yeah, and it was a great way to end the year, seeing Roberto have that amazing performance there in the absolute division at Nogi Worlds. Got promoted immediately after taking gold. And we're all very excited to see him now mix it up with the elite level. So great news there. But we also signed one more match there, Michael. Who else is joining us at Who's Number One?
Nicholas Marigali and Victor Hugo.
Schmerigali.
Schmerigali's going to be in there. Another exciting one. I mean, Nicholas obviously has already done a lot at the black belt level. He's black belt world champ 2 times. But, I mean, Victor Hugo, double grand slam at brown belt last year. So if you're not familiar with that means he won his weight and the absolute at every single major IBJJF tournament, which is just pretty incredible. And he's a big dude. Got a great guard. I think this one's going to probably be Victor playing guard against Nicholas passing. I'm really excited for it. Something interesting about this matchup, when I was looking up like the people who've won worlds at all the belts recently, Victor Hugo was a 6-time world champion in the color belts. Nicholas was a 5-time. So they
Oh,
were
wow.
like two of the best color belts in the last decade, probably the two best. So it's an interesting matchup.
I mean, let's not forget, too, that Victor Hugo has had his black belt for almost 6 months now and has beat some huge names. I mean, he has a submission win over Cyborg at Nogi Worlds, a nasty knee bar. I believe he's defeated Joao Gabriel Hoche at one point and Ricardo Evangelista a couple times. So Victor Hugo is maybe in his first season as a black belt, but he is by no means very green to the division. And I think he'll be an interesting challenge there for Marigali. So I'm super pumped to have those on our card. You can watch it live in Costa Mesa, California on February 8th. The tickets are being sold currently on FloGrappling TixTix.com right now, so don't delay. Get those. You can see it there in person. We'll, of course, be streaming it live as well. And stay tuned for all the upcoming content. We did a bunch of fun stuff with some of the up-and-coming color belts on the show. I just met with Jessica Khan recently from AOJ. Did a little profile piece on her that you'll see shortly. But, yeah, it's going to be a really fun show. I'm really excited. We're just a little over a month out, and it's going to be a great time. But don't want to look too far ahead because January is freaking stacked. It's
crazy.
It is a wild,
busy month.
wild month for us, and I couldn't be more excited to see the return of gi season, of course, with the European Championships. The IBJJF always throws an amazing, amazing event that's 6-7 days long, it seems like, and there's thousands of athletes. That will be running from January 20th to the 26th, I believe, is the current schedule, though that may change with the registration level. Michael, you excited to go back to Lisbon?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited for the gi season to kick off. I mean, no gi was fun, but I'm really happy to get back into the gi season, get into the swing of things. We get to see some new athletes that we didn't see over the last couple of months in no gi. Guys like Marigali, guys like Mikey Musumeci, Lisbon's always a good time. It's very exciting. There's a lot of the atmosphere is great there. The season's kicking off. There's a lot of European fans there who get to see athletes they don't normally get to see, and I'm really looking forward to that one.
Ricardo, are you looking forward for the gi, the pajamas coming back?
Can't wait for the pajama party to begin. Europeans is about to begin. It's one of the hottest tournaments. It's funny because, there's every year at Europeans, there's always like some breakthrough star. There's some monumental moment. I think about when Herbert fought Pergisa, when Tommy Langacker submitted Herbert. There's so many awesome moments. So as a fan, I just can't wait to tune in. Unfortunately, I won't be commentating. My USADA ban's almost, a couple more years might be lifted.
Yeah.
Free Balea. Patches are coming out soon, guys, but maybe I'll be watching at home just like everyone else.
Very nice. We also have a few fight to wins on this month. Actually, those guys never stop. Shout out to Seth Daniels there for keeping the train moving. First event is actually next weekend. Is going to be January 10th in Scottsdale with a main event featuring Marcio Andre and Ben Henderson. That's a sick matchup. I love when they throw in a little bit of a wild card. Have a primarily MMA fighter going up against a traditional jiu-jitsu guy. What do you guys think about that matchup?
Yeah, it's a 170-pound no-gi match here. So, I'd imagine Marcio is going to be playing guard. I don't see Ben Henderson passing his guard. I think you got to consider Marcio a heavy favorite here, in my opinion. Marcio is so high level. But, just Ben Henderson, I always got to love MMA guys, big-name MMA guys throwing their name out there. And having a jiu-jitsu match against a high-level opponent is a great matchup, I said.
I agree. Then,
hold on a sec. I beg to differ.
I was waiting for this. You've been very, very calm this whole show, Ricardo. What do you got for us?
It's 2020, new year, new me. But anyways, no. The thing is, I like this match for a couple of reasons. Is because Marcio's not a guy that if you take him down, you can expect to see arm bars and triangles. He's more of a sweeper kind of, technical player in that respect. So I think that, Benson has a really good chance to obviously take Marcio down. There's no points, but I could see him kind of dictating what happens from there. I think the question is going to be, can Marcio sweep him from there or take his back? And as opposed in the contrast, looking at what Benson could do, probably going to go after the, guillotines, front headlocks, trying to get off the pass. So it's, there's no favorite in this match. I really like this. Great job by Seth Daniels preparing these two up.
I don't know if there'll be a takedown. I think Marcio just sits. I don't think he's going to go out and wrestle with him. But, I'd be surprised. Fight to win rules, you never know. But I'd be really surprised if Ben can pull it off. But, wrestlers are hard to – MMA guy as athletic as Ben Henderson is going to be hard to sweep. He's going to be hard to tap. MMA guys are always hard to tap. So yeah, it's a tough matchup for Marcio. I mean,
Benson's also got a couple fight to wins under his belt, so he's familiar with the rule set. He probably knows.
Ben's probably a little bit bigger, I'd imagine.
Yeah, his legs are definitely going to be stronger.
I mean, Marcio gets all the way down to featherweight sometimes. This is a 170-pound match, so.
Fight to win 135 goes down the following weekend there, January 18th, with the main event of none other than Victor Hugo versus Nicky Rod. Nicky Rod back in action. That is a barn-burner matchup. I mean, Nicky Rod is just sheer physicality going up against a very technical Victor Hugo. I can't think of a bigger clash of styles, if you want to call it that. What are you guys' ideas there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of hype behind Victor Hugo No-Gi right now. I mean, he just won the open class at No-Gi Worlds, Tab Cyborg. So, I mean, his biggest No-Gi accomplishment yet. I mean, probably his biggest accomplishment because all of his gi stuff was brown belt, basically. And, yeah, Victor's guard's so good. He uses his length so well. But, I mean, Nicky Rod's got that X factor, right? Mm-hmm. He's so aggressive, just doesn't stop moving, always pushing the pace. Man, this is a crazy one.
Ricardo, are you looking forward to that matchup or what?
Yeah, I love it. It's got this like whole 6 degrees of cyborg, connection going. We got, Nicky Rod, Victor Hugo, Cyborg. Cyborg's fought both of them. Victor Hugo submitted him. Nicky Rod did not, but it was an amazing match. So I'm looking forward to it. And, to quote you, Chase, I was going to say this earlier. How much of a pain in the butt is it to wrestle the guy that comes into your academy white belt that's like, yeah, I wrestled for 5 years in high school. You take that, physicality, and then you look at Nicky Rod. He's like the opposite end of the spectrum. So it's not going to be easy for Victor Hugo to deal with such a really good wrestler as Nicky Rod. But not only is he a good wrestler, he's been training with Danaher and those guys there. So this has got fireworks all over it. I love this match. When Seth said it, when he told us about it, I was super happy. I think stylistically, they're very different. Victor Hugo's not a big wrestler. He'll pull guard, and now we know he's going to attack legs. So, Nicky Rod's better dot those I's and cross those T's because Victor Hugo is coming for something.
Fight to Win rounds out the January schedule on the 24th in LA at Fight to Win 136. The main event there is Gabby Garcia versus Gabby Pisana. Now that's a crazy matchup.
That's my favorite out of any of them. Like I saw a lot of people online that I guess don't follow color belts who are thinking it's a squash match for Gabby Garcia.
Oh no way!
They're really underestimating Gabby Pisana.
Is this a gi match or a no gi match?
It's got to be gi.
I would assume it's a gi match.
But yeah, Gabby Pisana, you can't underestimate her. I mean, she's already proven. The women in the AJP fight brown and black belt together, and she beat Nachielli, 2 or 3 times last. And Nachielli's the open class world champion at black belt.
Yeah, and it was pretty one-sided every time.
Gabby Pisana was like double grand slam at purple, was like a match away from doing it at brown. Yeah, I mean, if Nachielli went out and beat Gabby Garcia in Fight to Win rules, Gabby Pisana absolutely can go do it too. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's a clash of generations.
That is a crazy matchup. And Fight to Win, of course, very, very busy. We're looking forward to seeing those guys back. But we have one more promotion, actually, with another event here in January. Jits King is back. They're based out there in Florida. The show will be taking place in Miami, January 24th. Will Tackett is back on the card. They're currently looking for another opponent for him. But we have Boogeyman versus Enrico Coco. John Combs is going to take on Cody Steele. And there's a great 16-man tournament that has Keith Krikorian, Cade Ruotolo, Ethan Krellenston, even Andrew Tackett, Will's younger brother, is in that. That's a super fun event, so don't sleep on those guys. They're always making some improvements to the show and they're developing into one of the best promotions there is today. So shout out to Jits King.
And Wagner Osha's daughter, I believe, is competing on it. Jasmine Osha. Yeah, she's another young up-and-comer, so keep your eyes on her as well.
You got to watch out for the Hoshas. They're always dynamic and dangerous. He's got a young son, Achilles, too. That's pretty badass. They're a teenager, I believe.
Yep.
But anyways, that kind of takes us through the event schedule for January. It's going to be nonstop. This is the only weekend of the month where there's no events, but then it's crazy from then on out. We'll be very busy, very, very excited. And on that note, I think it's time to do a bit of a deep dive here with my friend Michael Sears, who's written a preview for basically every single gi division, male and female, at black belt. Phenomenal work there, Michael. And let's dive in. Let's go from lightest on our way up. We'll probably won't get through all the divisions today. We'll come back next week and run them out because it's pretty detailed stuff. But we'll see how far we get. Let's open up here with the rooster weights, Michael.
All right. Yeah, gi season. Let's get it, man. I'm really stoked for this. Let's start with the rooster weights. Caleb, if you want to pull up our preseason number 1. Mikey Musumeci right there. I mean, yeah, One Worlds. There's an easy one, but I think the big question here is Mikey a roosterweight next year?
Well, we've seen a lot of back and forth there on his own Instagram. Mikey has been asking to compete in 2 divisions at Worlds.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. He's out of his mind. But
I mean, it's a wild request. I like it. I like that he's hungry. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see from a champion. Michael could just be resting on his laurels and say, I'm a 3-time champ.
Yeah.
No, he wants to compete twice in 2 different brackets, so I love it. But that does make me think, that, well, maybe he doesn't want to go to Rooster unless it's really worth it. He can do 2 divisions. Maybe light feathers where he ends up. But I just hope we get to see Mikey more than once this year.
Yeah.
Or is he just playing mind games with the rest of his division?
He is, with Kyotera and those guys, they think they're playing 4D chess over there. They definitely go to the next level.
I don't know if he can make it again. I mean, remember he pulled out of Pans like a day early because he was having trouble with the weight cut. He shaved his head before Worlds because he was so close on the weight. If I was him, just go light feather. I want him at light feather. It'll make things more exciting. But other questions here. Bruno Malfacini.
Does he come back? I don't know.
I think Bruno comes back.
That'd be
I
phenomenal.
don't think he wants to end his career the way it ended last year at Worlds. I think we're going to see Bruno back in the mix.
And then, of course, we have Talon Suarez. I think that's the big X factor. And I would love to see Mikey take on Talon. I think that's just like a match everyone wants to see. Ricardo, what would you predict? I don't know, but what intrigues you maybe about Roosterweight right now? Threw out a lot of names right there, a lot of changes, generations, all those kind of things happening. Anything standing out to you? We see Mikey here with his crazy footlock, by the way.
Yeah, you guys said it. Talon and Mikey is the match that I want to see. I think we all want to see. Talon's just one of the next big things. At Black Belt, he's just, we have that amazing documentary that Michael Sears. I keep saying it every time I'm on this podcast, but I really liked it. Michael did a really good piece on Talon Suarez. I recommend you guys watch that at home. And Mikey, we did the documentary on Mikey. For those of you, learned a lot about the mental side of what Mikey went through some of his biggest events. We see these guys fighting and competing, and we don't consider a lot of the factors. And learning a lot about Mikey in that documentary helps me appreciate how much of a true competitor he is. And I want to see that match, whether it's at Europeans, whether it's at Pans, at Worlds. It's got to go down. And if it doesn't go down, let's make it in Who's Number One, the second edition.
There we go.
Got to see it.
I like where your head's at.
I mean, Talon is somebody that, we never saw him push. He went years without losing, right? Blue, purple, brown, doing the Grand Slam every single year. He's just running through the Roosterweight division at the color belts. Now we're going to get to see him up here at this next level and get to go against. We've seen him have some tough matches with Hajni Barbosa and Nogi Worlds.
I was going to shout out Hajni. That was the first match that Talon didn't submit, I think, in forever. And
he lost to Bebeto actually at the Moscow Grand Slam.
That's right.
That was a lot of guys stumble when they first get out there. I think he's going to be contender for the title by the time we get to Worlds. And the Roosterweight division is, even if Mikey's not there, I think it's more exciting than ever with Bruno, with Talon, with Bebeto, a bunch of these guys, Kleber Souza. There's a lot of talent in that division right now, and I'm excited for it. You never know. Kyotera.
I was just going to say, we don't know what Kyle's doing. He could come back.
Kyotera, he could just not compete all year and just all of a sudden sign up for Worlds. You never know with that guy. So
I just want to give a shout out actually to the Roosterweights because I feel like that division sometimes gets overlooked a little bit. They don't get quite the love they deserve, but I think it's one of the most dynamic divisions today, and I feel like last year everyone was talking about the Roosterweights, and that's just really exciting to me to see other divisions kind of step up and claim a little bit of the action there, get a little bit of excitement going behind them.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have some big name roosters in for Euros as well. I know Talon's already in there, a couple other guys. I've heard some rumors about some other big names getting in, so I think the Roosters gonna kick it off right away in January with a tough bracket there.
Any other storylines we want to dive into before we head on over to the women's side of the Roosterweight and light feather?
I think that's just it. What weight does Mikey go? I'm saying light feather. But besides that, if you get Bruno, 10-time IBJJF World Champ versus Talon this year, that's
another dream match.
Yeah, that'll be wild. It'll be a class generation for sure.
All right, well, that takes us up, I think, to the biggest questions going into 2020 for the Roosterweights. Where's Mikey going? What legends come back? And what happens next based on those ramifications?
Kyle Terra's crazy, man. He's about it. He might just jump right in there. You never know. He might not even train and just jump in and do Worlds, and he's always a threat. So
I'd love to see it. Moving on then to the women's Roosterweight, which we've doubled up here with light feather, as a lot of times they are forced to kind of combine those divisions based on level of entrance. Big story here is, of course, Maisa Bastos, kind of the queen of Roosterweights right now, you could call her. Is that correct, Michael?
Yeah, she's just stomping everybody. She's just stomping her way through tournaments, man. She's beating up on girls. The only one that was even close with her. Really, I mean, she lost at Brasileiro up at light feather. There was no rooster for there, but she won all the other Grand Slams, won the Abu Dhabi World Pro. She beat Rikako, multiple-time world champ, in the final there, and at Worlds. And I think one storyline to watch here is there's this girl, Brenda Larissa, who just got her black belt. This Alliance girl, she got her black belt from Fabio Gurgel. That girl in the brown and black mixed divisions last year beat Maisa. I believe they were 1-1 against each other. Beat her once for sure.
One of the AGP tournaments
as a brown belt. So now Maisa's got somebody who's recently beat her. Who's going to be in there, and hopefully Rikako's back. And yeah, but you got to go with Maisa. She's just looked untouchable in the roosterweight division in IBJJF.
just claimed gold recently.
Yeah, I saw.
Sorry, go ahead, Ricardo.
No, just watching her compete, watching her like her lapel guard and her De La Riva reverse. It's just every guard that she throws out there. It just feels like she's just so far above a lot of the other competitors in her division when she plays her, when she gets that motion going, when she starts whipping those lapels around and wrapping legs and arms and getting sweeps ready. It's so cool to watch. I was really impressed with her last year at a couple of the AJP tours. I didn't really see much of her before that, and then got to see her in action. I was super impressed.
She's got a really fun game, man. I was watching her final at Nogi Worlds, and for someone so small, she has like incredible pressure passing.
Yeah, well, she's the Unity style, man.
It's so fun to watch.
Bolo from the bottom and pressure passing on top. She smashes people.
Yeah, she's
Absolutely.
got just this amazing pressure, and actually, it's kind of inspired my 2020 jiu-jitsu resolution. I want to work on my pressure passing. So that's a little shout out there to Maisa Bastos.
Did we ever show the Maisa graphic? I don't remember if we called it up.
I think we did. I think it came through.
Right.
Yeah. But at light feather, then we have.
Wait, Chase. Before we continue, you need to work on your Berimbolo defense.
Oh.
Because I remember the last time I rolled with you, the Balea Bolo got whipped out. So you better train up, boy.
But we still have some key names here in light feather.
No, I'll go to male light feather is next.
We want to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move on over then to male light feather. Michael, lead the way then. What do you want to discuss first from the stacked light feather divisions?
We got our number one, preseason number one, Joao Miao, the champ. But I mean, it was an up and down year for him, and this was a very, very strange division in 2019, where we saw closeouts in the semis. The World's final was just closeouts in both semis and the final. And that's why I'm saying going into 2020, Mikey Musumeci, you are our only hope. Make this division great again. Seriously. We need somebody to come in there, shake it up. We got Gabriel Souza and Alex Sadre and some guys who have beat Joao this last year. But at Worlds, it was 4 Cicero guys. Now you're putting into the mix. Pato's going to be in there. Pato's just as good as Talon.
Just another one. Yeah.
Pato did the Grand Slam at Brown Belt last year. Now that's another Cicero guy. So there's going to be 5 of them. Jonas, I think, will cut down to Rooster. But, I mean, Joao had an up-and-down year. He lost to Sadre at Brasileiro. He lost to Gabriel Souza at the World Pro in the final. But he came back and got done at Worlds and closed out the World Final with his brother. But I think we're going to see Mikey up in this division. I think Mikey's going to go for the challenge and really shake things up here.
That would be nice. You know, even now, if you look at the early signups for Euros, there's 4 Cicero guys in there right now, I believe. So it's a little bit tough, you know. That really stacks the bracket in their division. Ricardo, what are your thoughts on the matter, on the light feather predicament we have going here?
I mean, Mikey's the king, and if he goes back, I mean, he better be really careful, because he's going to have 4 Cicero guys who are all gunning for him, training with each other, studying him, for the best at that division. So he's the king, but he's got to be careful this year.
What was the Mikey and Joao have had a back and forth kind of rivalry for some time now? What's his standing on the? We know
Mikey,
top of our heads?
Mikey is 11-0 against Cicero Costa people in general. He's never lost to Thiago George, Thiago Barros, or Joao. But he hasn't fought the big dog. He hasn't fought Paulo.
Okay, so that's the match then.
Paulo, I mean, something that you gotta bring up when you're talking this division is Paulo just had, apparently, from what I hear, had knee surgery.
Really?
He's going to miss most of the season.
I had no idea. That's disappointing.
Someone told me he's going to be back for Worlds, but so I think we'll probably see Mikey versus the rest of the Cicero team, and then maybe Paulo comes in.
Okay.
At the World Championship. I want to see Mikey Paulo. I really want to see that one. I've been waiting a while.
That is a phenomenal situation.
Don't sleep on Pato, though. Diego Pato might be the best out of those Cicero guys. He did the Grand Slam at Brown Belt last year. He's a total beast.
All right, let's kick it back over then to the women's light feather.
Women's light feather.
This is
a wild division. This is probably, out of all of the female divisions, there's so many contenders for the title. Let's look at our preseason number 1 here. A-Rod.
A-Rod, I love it. I haven't heard that. That's perfect.
Yeah, A-Rod. BJJ coming out of the Dream Art Project. She was a brown belt world champ last year, and she already took this over because she's been killing it. She beat Amanda Montero. She beat Toledo. Amanda Canuto now. Beat Toledo. Beat Amal like 4 times. She beat Bianca Basilio and Maisa at the Queen of Mats. Like, she has been killing it. And, I mean, look how stacked this division is. Tammy Musumeci won Worlds last year. You got Amanda Canuto's a world champ. You got Toledo, the Honey Badgers, another world champ. You got Jezreel, another world champ. And then that's not easy. You got Amal. Amal is a savage. Amal's choked Amanda before. This division, there's a bunch of contenders for the title. I'm looking forward to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, and of course we have another Musumeci here, current world champion Tammy Musumeci. Question mark as how active she might be this year. Last year, Worlds was her only appearance, but she came over and won that thing. Amazing accomplishment there. So I'd love to see her back in action as well, but you never really know.
Yeah, you don't get. She's not going to compete as much as the other girls, but hopefully she shows up at Worlds to try and defend that title because it'll make things more interesting. Toledo was looking on fire at the Nogi Worlds.
Nogi Worlds there, yeah.
Yeah, Honey Badger. What are you thinking about the Honey Badger next year, Ricardo?
She just keeps. I'll say it again. She keeps impressing me every year. She doesn't train with a big team. She's in Alliance, but she's not training at Faber-Gurgel. She's teaching in Florida at another academy. So, she just has all the tools to become one of the greatest female grapplers of all time. But A-Rod's got the tools as well. A-Rod,
she got a cool nickname.
You guys got to watch. She's got the cool nickname. She's just got the look. She just knows what she's super confident. And coming out of that Queen of Mats winning, she had some big wins over there. She beat Bianca Basilio. Who else did she?
Maisa. She beat Maisa there.
Maisa. Yeah, so she's got all the makings of one of the next big things as well. So guys, keep your eyes on A-Rod, Ana Rodriguez from Alliance at the Dream Art Academy, pupil of Isaac Baez. She's going to be the next big thing. Let's see an A-Rod versus Tammy match this year.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
That's basically her and Jezreel are basically the only ones that A-Rod hasn't beaten yet. I mean, Anna is she's one of these athletes that it's like mentally she's on that level. I just feel like she's in tune, she's focused, and she has that confidence that she's going to step right up to black. I mean, she's already proven she can. I think she's going to step right up to black belt and contend for that world title.
It's funny. You talk about the laser focus. She put a post on her Instagram the other day at her at brown belt or purple belt, and she kind of made a comment like the same focus as I had back then. I was ready to go against the black belts, and I am now. So yeah, she's determined. She's not intimidated. She went out there, like I said, she fought some of the greatest black belts in her division at the Queen of Mats, kicked ass and took names. A-Rod, watch out for her.
Actually, your comment there just struck a little memory of mine where I was filming with Jessica Khan, and she's now, of course, a brown belt, looking forward to competing in AJP to take on the black belt. She says she's fired up to take on some black belts, so I just want to throw that out there.
She's somebody that we probably should have mentioned in the Rooster season preview just because, I mean, at some of these events, Jessica Khan's going to be in the mix.
She's going to World Pro. That's the idea. So, she'll be in the mix.
She'll fight Maisa there, 49 kilograms. All right, what do we got next? Men's feather?
Men's featherweight. And the divisions definitely get a bit deeper here as we go up in the size a little bit. Of course, we should start with our preseason number 1, Mateus Gabriel from Checkmat. Had an amazing run his first year at black belt. Submission win in the final over Marcio Andre.
Yeah, won Pans 2, beat Jamil in the Pans final.
Yeah, what can you say about this kid? I mean, he is absolutely incredible. Really, really fun to watch. Really dynamic game.
Had a good run at Spider 2. Just submission hunter. I mean, he tapped Marcio Andre in the world's final. Who does that? He beat Jamil, the returning world champ at Pans in the final. And, he's one. I mean, that's why when people count out these brown belts like Pato or Talis or whatever, like you got to look last year, Mateus Gabriel and Keenan go out win worlds their very first year. Levi beats Lucas Lepre at Euros. Like, these guys are ready, man. They're 19, 20, 21, getting their black belt, and they're ready to go right away. And Mateus Gabriel was a perfect example of that went brown belt champ to black belt world champ and dominated at black belt and featherweight last year, Pans and world champ. I'm really looking forward to him a second year, but I'm hoping we see a healthy Jamil and get a rematch between those two.
Hey, Ricardo, you've been around for a minute now. Is that a new thing? Brown belts coming in and immediately making a massive impact, or traditionally has that been a common path for them?
No, that's pretty common. I mean, if you see them win at blue, purple, brown at Worlds, the chances are they're going to be coming into black belt and doing the same. It's a very common characteristics, especially nowadays. Like brown and black level is so close. So it doesn't, just because he's a brown belt winning at brown doesn't mean that he can't hang or beat the blacks. We saw that. He's had an amazing year. We could call him the rookie of the year, by many means. And he's got all the makings of being one of the greatest of all time as well. I really like his game in particular because, he's a submission hunter. You can notice in his grips, he'll have Kimura grip controls, but he also, he could play the points game. He could sweep and kind of play that game too. He's very diverse. So big fan of his. Again, like you guys said, like to see a rematch with him and Jamil. They've had some wars. But, I'm a big Matias Gabriel fan. I remember when Checkmat kind of got him over a couple years ago. They were really excited. I didn't really know too much about him until I saw him at brown belt, then, of course, at black. But, yeah, just a phenom.
When you look through the guys, okay, we talked Matias Gabriel and Jamil, but then look at how many other heavy hitters are in this division. Marcio Andre, Saggioro, Isaac and Gianni from Alliance, Keishinho, Kennedy. Israel Souza is a brown belt world champ coming in from GFT that could do some damage. Yeah. I think Kennedy is also somebody who might take it up another level this year. He didn't fight Worlds because he got put next to Isaac in the bracket and just conceded to him. But I think Kennedy is somebody that you could looking forward to in 2020 to do some damage here.
All those names are incredible athletes who have touched the podium at some of these major events. I'm looking forward to seeing Saggioro back in action. I'll tell you why. He never gets as much hype as some of the other guys, but he's consistently making the final at major tournaments like Worlds, like Europeans. Has already signed up for Europeans. Has a very, very classic style jiu-jitsu. Nice, deep half guard. He has this, I don't know, what would you even call that sweep? He just sort of comes under. It's like a deep half sweep, but he does it to everybody. He's unstoppable. And I really appreciate people who have sort of a game like that where you know what they're going to do, but you just can't stop it. So I like watching him in action for sure.
What about Gianni, man? Gianni's been so close all this time. He just can't get done at Worlds. He's won basically everything else, man. Gianni and Isaac are two people. Isaac got a big win over Paulo at the Brasileiro this year when he won Brasileiro. These are two people that are so close, and they just got to put in a good day in Long Beach in May and early June, and they could be the world champion next year too. They're right there.
Yeah, it really is a game of inches. Gianni is clearly one of the hardest workers in jiu-jitsu. Then that says something. But he's just in the gym every single day, all day long. He lives for this, and he's also one of the most active competitors. Gianni had, I don't even remember, he put out an article in September last year, I think ahead of ADCC, where he competed basically, every single weekend except for 2 or 3 that year. It was absolutely incredible. So looking forward to see him back in action. He is just a technician. His game's phenomenal.
Someone to watch here, Israel Souza. He's a brown belt world champ last year. Might have been a purple belt world champ the year before. I can't remember right now. But he's just a total stud, vicious passer. Somebody I've been watching at the color belt since blue belt when he won blue belt worlds. Israel Souza is somebody that could show up his first year at black belt and bring home some big titles for sure. Ricardo, what are you thinking about featherweight for next year?
It's too tough, man. Johnny's been grinding, like you guys said. Johnny's one of the hardest workers. And I'm with Chase. Cascao is a disruptor. He can take it any day of the week. He's beaten a lot of these guys. Saggioro is just he's just a beast. I really like watching his game as well. I talked about him because he's actually teaching in Montreal, Canada. So I always got to give him props to my Canadian boys here. But yeah, no, Saggioro's a beast. Any one of these guys, this is a really, really tight bracket. No one, in my opinion, has a clear, huge advantage over the rest of them. It's so tight, and they've all competed against each other so many times. So it's going to be even that much more harder to kind of predict a clear favorite, other than Matias Gabriel.
Someone I think that could shake things up here. I think with the Cicero logjam at light feather, maybe you see Paulo come back at featherweight. He's had success at feather before. I could definitely see with Pato being a 5th guy in there, as good as he is. What are they're going to close out in the quarters? I could potentially see Paulo being a featherweight when he comes back from
you really hope that they don't do that, that take that road. If we had to distill all of those things we were just talking about in featherweight, what would be the key storylines we're looking at for 2020? Will we see Matias Gabriel double up on his success? Where does Jamil go? Does he find the way to beat Matias Gabriel? And then what else? What else we got?
I'm outside of those two, outside of the obvious top 2 guys. I'm looking at all these vets who have been so close for so long. Sergio or Marcio Andre, Keishino. Like, can one of these guys get it done? I mean, anytime none of these guys are getting dominated. Really, it's close. It's a game of advantages of a last sweep, and they just got to put it together for 4 matches in the pyramid, and they'll get it. And I think this might be the year that one of these vets takes it at featherweight.
Interesting stuff as always. Let's kick it on over then to the female featherweight division here. Heading into this season, the number 1 ranked athlete.
Let me ask Ricardo first. Who's your favorite featherweight, and why is it Bianca Basilio, Ricardo?
Basilia Bocchina.
There it is.
That's what it's all about. No, I just, like, she's my favorite because her personality, like her gameness that she brings. Look at that picture of her biting that metal. She's just it's just an awesome competitor to watch because she's a true submission hunter. She goes after it. How could you not love this girl? She did that huge throw on Tayani Porfirio years ago, that went viral on the internet. It's just, she's got all the makings of being one of the biggest stars in the sport. And, not just that, not just her technical ability, it's so cool to see her big smile every time. And it's hilarious. She'll go win or lose. She'll lose a fight. She's just like, smiling. And it's just, she's a ferocious beast on the mat and a smiling sweetheart off the mat. She's one of my favorites for sure. It's no secret.
This division was sort of wild last year because, as you see here in the video right now, Anna Schmidt got the decision win over Bia in the Worlds final. Anna Schmidt won. But, like, Fion tapped Anna Schmidt at Brasileiro. Bianca Basilio went back and tapped Anna Schmidt. Here's Fion tapping Anna right here, Brasileiro. Bianca Basilio went back and tapped Anna at BJ Stars. So they've been back and forth. Schmidt took the world title, but it's like it was Fion or Bianca Basilio's division all year long.
Yeah, I feel like we see a little bit more ups and downs in all the women's divisions where, it's a smaller pool and they're all facing each other so regularly where, I mean, man, that must be so frustrating in some sense to have that kind of rival that is going to be there every single event. But it does make things interesting for us at home, for us viewing the matches.
I mean, Bianca Basilio, she's just breaking girls' legs. Almost every time she goes out now, she gets that footlock's maybe the most automatic move in jiu-jitsu right now. Here we see her doing her little flip after winning the World Pro, but yeah, she's vicious with that footlock, and I think she's somebody who just really she just turned it around this last year. She was up and down. She was doing lightweight a lot and losing to Bia Mosquito before. She dropped to featherweight, and I think that was the right weight for her, and I think she just really figured things out. And I think going into 2020, you got to be thinking Bia Basilio is going to be running this, but you can't count out Fion.
Absolutely not. Definitely cannot count out Fion. Yeah, the fire starter, the upstart. Last year was an amazing breakout season for Fion. Had some big wins at Europeans, qualified for ADCC, looked great all year long. And I love her tenacity as well. She's ferocious. She's out there killing girls as well. Yeah.
I mean, she's tapped some really big names. I mean, she's in their series so far, Basilio's 3-1 against Fion, but Fion has been beating everyone else. Like, she was so close to getting the Grand Slam in 2019. It was just Worlds. Just the footlock at Worlds was all that kept her from getting the Grand Slam. So, I mean, that was only her first year as a black belt.
I mean, let's not forget that armbar at ADCC over Bia Mosquito.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a Hall of Fame moment. You could put that up there with the greatest moments in jiu-jitsu.
And even at World Pro when she fought Bia Mosquito. Sorry to interrupt you, but that was a tough fight for Bia. Bia wasn't dominating from start to finish there. Fion gave her some trouble. That was, and she had an amazing year. So look out for Fion, and she's pretty hilarious too. If you guys follow her on social media, she's pretty funny.
Yeah, Fion's a super fun athlete to work with. She's very, very friendly and just a savage on the mats. I feel like that's a common theme there for the women's divisions. And
you got some tough checkmate girls in there. Antunes might be in the mix. Natalie Ribeiro, really tough.
Nogi world champion.
Yeah, I mean, Natalie Ribeiro beat Bianca Basilio at Worlds a couple years ago, and I believe 2018 took her back. So yeah, there's a lot of girls.
And Karen, I believe Karen submitted Bianca maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah,
so
Pans.
Karen Antunes, you can at Pans, right? So Karen is another one of those ones you can never count out. We talk about her super aggressive submission on her, goes for flying triangles. I saw she had a really slick match that just came up on IBJJF, and she did a fake double leg to a flying triangle after. It was beautiful job. So she could disrupt anyone. She has. We're talking about Bianca Basilio. she doesn't just have a win, she has a submission win. So she has just as good a chance of winning and dominating that division this year as anyone.
Yeah, it's funny that Gracie Umaita has a reputation for a super strong women's team. So does Atos, but Checkmat might be contenders. I think they might have even won the team title at Nogi Worlds for the women's division.
I believe it. Yeah, they got a lot of
maybe
good girls.
maybe Ryan can check that out from back there. Nogi Worlds team title for the women for black belt. But
they got Kaká, they got Raquel Canuto, they got Beta Toscano. They got a lot of good girls coming from Checkmat.
Of course, Michelle Nicolini flying the Checkmat banner. So they do have a really strong women's team there. But a couple more names that jump out here at featherweight. We have some dark horses of the division. Heather Raftery, Nogi World silver medalist, had a great showing there against Toledo in the final, even though she didn't take home the W, looked really good. And then Ray Alexander from TLI is another regular competitor who can mix things up on the right day. A lot of good stuff happening in that division. Very, very busy, very competitive. Maybe one of the deepest talent pools, I think, out there. Should we move it right along then, gentlemen?
Male lightweight.
Let's kick it over to the male lightweight. What are the biggest stories, Michael, from the male lightweight division here?
Lepre, does he come back? I mean, you got Levi, had a great year, sort of stumbled near the end. He tore it up in the beginning. In the middle, he got knee barred by Oliver Lavelle at World Pro. He double DQ at Worlds. And then he bounces back at Spider to beat Gabriel Argis, to have a great run and win Spider. So Levi's second year, does he put it together? I mean, Lucas Lepre, obviously, 6-time world champ, the heavy favorite, he's coming back. And, Lucas Valenti and Renato Canuto are obviously studs, but I think somebody to really look out for here is Jonathan Alves at AOJ. I think he's somebody who first year could really do some damage. Man,
Jonathan didn't have the results he would have loved at Spider, but he opened up as strong as you possibly could with a submission win over Jamil there. That was one of the craziest starting rounds I've ever seen at a tournament. Barrel to the back.
Under a minute.
Under a minute.
Black belt world champion.
So clean, so crisp. Jonathan does have all the talent in the world. He's a workhorse as well. This division is super deep. I was there. I guess it's very fresh in my mind, being at Spider and seeing a lot of these guys in the under 76 kilogram division. You couldn't be anything else besides super impressed with Levi Jones-Leary. He looked phenomenal. For someone that struggled a little bit with the strategy elements of the game and the double guard pull game, he put it all together there at Spider. But there was a risky moment there. I mean, in the final, it got 3 penalties. It could have been a double DQ, and who knows what would have happened there. But Levi's one of my favorite people to watch.
Yeah, Levi's got to stop with those double guard pull penalties.
It is so nerve-wracking, even as a spectator. Like, oh, God, this is the final, man.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
It'll be interesting. Him and Jonathan Alves go up against each other. Who wins that little bolo battle? I mean, they both are, next level with it.
We got guys like Renato Canuto who always mix things up.
Yeah.
Renato is one of the best gi and no-gi athletes around today. Dynamic style. I mean, Ricardo, what can you tell me about Renato that would help viewers understand just this guy's level of talent?
I think in my opinion, he's the most exciting gi grappler and probably no-gi grappler right now, in my opinion. I think he's just super fun to watch. If it's no-gi, he's doing, double leg, single leg takedowns, and the gi he's doing beautiful throws, beautiful flying goes, arm locks, jumping guard passes. But, with playing that loose game, it's no risk versus reward. And, sometimes a guy with such perfect technique like Lucas, that it'd be real careful, and as exciting as Renato is, it's that excitement is what kind of plays down. That's his downfall a little bit too, So he's super exciting to watch, and he's capable of winning any major tournament in the world. It's not just like he just goes out there and does crazy stuff. His technique is second to none. But man, this division, it's really the question of, I see Bear in the chat room saying, is Lepre going to return? Is the excellence of execution Lucas Lepre? I'm going to give him that name, the perfectionist Lucas Lepre. Is he going to return? So, I mean, Bear, one of his sponsors, putting a little question mark out there. Maybe he's got some inside scoop, fellas. But basically, if Lepre does not compete, this division is wide open, and I cannot wait to see it go down. You talk about Levi. You talk about Jonathan Alves, the phenom. People were saying that he could win black belt worlds when he was still a purple belt. The kid was just, he's such a phenom. And Levi, you guys talked about Levi. I personally see the maturity of Levi Jones in that Spider event more than anything. So I can't wait to see this division here.
Lucas Valente too. I mean, he's somebody who sort of came out of nowhere and made it to the world final last year. He hadn't done anything nearly that big, but his guard is so good.
Yeah, I mean, was it a decision win for Lucas or just an advantage?
I believe it was a ref's decision.
I think it was very close, yeah.
Igor Rodriguez won the Brasileiro. He's somebody to look out for. Could do some damage here.
Do we think JT's not going to come back to lightweight?
He did middleweight last year.
Right, that's right.
I have him at, I mean, it might be better for Actos if he goes lightweight because they have so many middleweights. But, I mean, he's fighting Lucas Valente at third coast, so maybe
that's what got me thinking right
maybe
there.
He's going, I mean, if JT gets in the mix here, it's really going to shake things up too.
Man, think about this. What if Lepre maybe sits out most of the season, maybe comes back for Worlds, and then JT slides in a lightweight? That would just totally change the entire division, the landscape completely.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're going to get some crazy quarterfinals regardless, but if JT gets in there, yeah, I mean, you never know. He came back and did middleweight last year. He had a tough draw. He fought Izaki in the quarters up in middleweight. I think I'd rather see him at lightweight, to tell you the truth. Actos has so many guys. There's so many people up at middleweight. It's pretty crazy. I'd like to see JT do lightweight.
There's also always a couple of wild cards here in lightweight. Johnny Tama had a breakout performance at Nogi Worlds.
Yeah.
Currently, I think 25 ranked lightweight on our rankings here. But, man, he had a great showing there at Nogi Worlds, became a Nogi World Champion.
Natan Chuang's been doing really good in his first year at Black Belt. He's beat some big names already. Someone who hasn't been too active in the gi that can you got to remember was a silver medalist at Worlds one year is Edwin Najmi.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Edwin can show up and do some damage. He's been doing a lot more no-gi lately, but I'm sure he'll be in the mix for the gi season. And yeah, I think Jonathan Alves is just really somebody to watch, though. I think Jonathan Alves. I think he might not beat Lepre at Worlds, but I think he wins a major this year during the season.
Fair play. So if we had to distill this again into the biggest themes for the lightweight division, number one, what happens to Lucas Lepre? Is that the biggest question going into 2020?
Yeah. It does Lucas compete. I mean, you can't even score on him in the pyramid. When he's in Long Beach at Worlds, he's just so sharp, positionally so dominant. Doesn't give up any points even. Levi scored with him off of Berimbolo. Maybe Jonathan Alves could do the same. Yeah, I think it's Lepre versus the Young Guns is going to be the story. I hope Lepre comes back.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Lepre's absolute treasure of jiu-jitsu.
Somebody else who I think I haven't ranked at middleweight right now, but might end up at lightweight is Gutierre Barbosa. And Gutierre's good, man. He beat Jonathan Alves at Euros last year.
He's always undersized. Like, he always competes up a division, I feel like.
He's beat some good
But he
black
wins,
belts already.
so,
He
yeah.
beat Jaime Canuto at black belt already, and he's a problem if he goes down to lightweight as well.
Very nice. Well, then let's kick on over to the women's lightweight divisions here. As your article states, Bia Mesquita seems to have this thing on lock. Is that ring true for everyone here? What do you guys think about that?
If she comes back, 9-time world champ already. I mean, nobody's even close. She's just stomping people. She's running through girls. Mountain girls in the finals of major tournaments. Mounted Charlotte von Baumgarten in the final of Worlds. Just doing whatever she wants. I think if Bia comes back, she's heavy favorite to get it again. If not, I think we might see Fionn go up to lightweight and see Fionn run things up at lightweight. But Gabby McComb's a monster too.
Ricardo, I see you leaning in over there. What are you thinking about women's lightweight?
That's my cue. The thing with Bia is she made a comment about her interest in fighting MMA, but what we're starting to see more than ever now are jiu-jitsu athletes hinting at MMA but not ever going, because then they start to see the road to get where they want to be at the pinnacle. And it's not that it's hard, but obviously it's hard, but compare it to the jiu-jitsu market, there's just so much more money they can make. And just as a long-term career, I feel like, we're in a good era because there's so much more opportunity for jiu-jitsu athletes. So if Bia sticks with jiu-jitsu, it's hers. But it's an if, we never know what's going to happen. I feel like everyone that says they're going to do MMA is never really fully committed. Like Bruno, like Gordon Ryan, like they're all going to come back into jiu-jitsu. Rodolfo, you know what I mean? He said he was going to be done, but he came back. So I think we'll see Bia. I think it's safe to say that.
Yeah, you're right, though. Whenever I hear the MMA thing nowadays, I'm just like, yeah, we'll see. Until you have a fight signed or whatever. We've heard a whole bunch of big names say it and not follow through. And, I mean,
The The only one that stuck to their gun is Kron Gracie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Rodolfo.
he completely he's done. No, but Rodolfo came back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Kron was like, I'm doing this and that's it. I'm done. That part of me is over. Rodolfo was like, $100,000 in Korea? Okay, I'm back.
Well, I think you offer a women's Grand Prix with $100,000. You might see Bia jump on that. I imagine she would.
Absolutely.
But there are some other key names, of course, in this division. Bia's teammate, Gabby McComb, may be the one to take over the crown.
Yeah, she's a beast. She's really, really vicious. Really beats up on girls. It's not as deep in talent as the other one, as light feather or feather, but at the top, I think you might actually see Fionn up in this division this year. Fionn might have, even if Bia's back, Fionn might have got a little confidence after breaking her arm at ADCC.
Fair point.
And yeah, it might be just better for her to go up here and avoid Basilio down at featherweight, who's been a problem for her.
We also have Jenna Bishop present here at lightweight, American Nationals champ, world's bronze medalist, ADCC qualifier. Jenna Bishop is one of the top American female athletes today at black belt, always mixing things up, looking tough as usual. And you mentioned Charlotte von Baumgarten. Man, she is really hard. She is really tough to deal with out there. She gives girls hell. And silver medalist at both the Worlds and European Championships to a Bia Mosquito.
Yeah, if Bia Mosquito's not in those brackets, she probably won Worlds and Euros last year. So
a couple more newcomers that are worth mentioning is you're going to have to help me out with this name, Janina?
I don't know how to say Janina, maybe?
Janina Maya and Nicky Sullivan.
Janaina.
There we go.
Right.
Yeah, we should kick it to you because that one hurt to say. I'm sorry. Apologies to Miss Maya out there. Representing Gracie Umaita as well. We have Nicole Nicky Sullivan from Atos, Michelle Oliveira from Nova União, and Hope Douglas from Australia representing Cicero Costa, who has always been very, very tough. So
that Oliveira girl from Nova União is really tough. I saw her at a few tournaments at brown belt last year. She'll probably make the podium at Worlds her first year, I think.
Man, we are running through these divisions. Should we just kick it on over then to the male middleweight division?
Let's save it. Let's all right. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I'll go through. I'll pick my champ, and you guys tell me what you think about my pick. I'm gonna go.
Where are we starting at? Are we going back to Roosterweight?
Go back to the beginning. I'm gonna say this is what I'm gonna say. Mikey Musumeci does light feather, and Talon wins at Roosterweight. What do you think?
I mean, that seems like a safe bet. Safe bet.
I'm picking Talon over Bruno because I think Bruno's coming back.
Well, see, that's what I was going to say here is if Bruno comes back, I'm going to pick Bruno, but I don't know if he's going to come back. We have no idea. But if he's back and Mikey moves back to light feather, I think Bruno takes it, but I'm hoping to see Talon and Bruno. That's my dream match. So if Bruno comes back, it's Bruno. If Bruno's gone and Mikey's gone, then it's Talon. That's where I stand there for Roosterweight.
I think maybe Bruno beats Talon early. Talon pulls like a Marigali in his first year when he lost to Low early and then comes back and beats him at Worlds. I think Talon's just the real deal, man. I think he's a prodigy. I think the kid's got a good head on his shoulders. He's super good at jiu-jitsu. I'm picking Talon to be a first-year black belt here. Because I do not think Mikey Musumeci is doing Rooster. I definitely don't think he's fighting two weight classes. I think he's light feather.
What do you think of that analysis there, Ricardo?
I concur.
Fair play. Keeping it right down the middle, Uncle Ricky.
Roosterweight female, Maisa Bastos, move on. I mean, are you guys going to challenge me there?
I wouldn't challenge you, but let's just hit the women's light feather since I've only got that pulled up here. I don't know. I'm hoping Tammy Musumeci comes back at light feather.
Yeah, we're talking Rooster though, Maisa.
Yeah, and I said,
okay.
I concur. I think Maisa's a safe bet there at Rooster.
Yeah.
But you never know. Rikako could pull off a miracle. But
Brenda Larissa's beat her, but I think Maisa's going to get it done.
Yeah, I think you're correct about that.
Men's light feather. Mikey Musumeci goes up to light feather, in my opinion. I'm going to say Mikey Musumeci gets it done. I think Paulo's either doesn't come back or is featherweight. I think the biggest challenge to Mikey Musumeci is Diego Pato, the first-year black belt. I think those are the guys to watch at light feather. I'm going to say Mikey Musumeci. Roosterweight champ next year, Talon. Light feather, Mikey Musumeci wins his fourth.
What are you thinking about Paulo? Paulo going to make the jump?
Maybe he doesn't come back in time. Maybe he goes to featherweight. Man, if Paulo does light feather, Mikey's beat the rest of them, but Paulo's a whole different animal.
think that's fair. And if Paulo is indeed
If
getting
Paulo goes
some
light feather, I'm picking Paulo. I'll go with it.
Okay.
But I think he goes feather, and I think Mikey wins light feather.
I was going to say, you mentioned maybe that Paulo might be undergoing some surgery. Have some time off the mats. That might have him bulk up a little
He
bit.
probably needs a few surgeries.
Yeah, those guys are banged up.
What do you think? That's an intriguing matchup. If we get Mikey and Paulo, what do you think, Ricardo? It's never happened. Mikey's had the number of the rest of the guys from Cicero, but Paulo, he's the big dog over there.
That's a tough one. It's so, yeah. I don't have an answer for that one. I feel like Mikey's the right answer there. I think just on a tear, just doing so good. The time off for Paulo is definitely going to be a factor. So I think it's Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey mentally is he's there, man. He just flawless. I mean, wins worlds every year. I mean, he didn't lose a single match in 2019. All right, so I'm going with Mikey as my light feather champ. Women's light feather. Oh, it's a tough one. We got the Honey Badger. We got A-Rod. We got Tammy. Who else is oh, Amanda.
Amanda, maybe Jezri. I mean, at the wild card,
Jezri.
Amal, Jahid. That always is a tough battle for anyone.
I think Amal sort of counted out because she didn't have the best year last year, but she's beat a few of these girls before.
I wonder if she could make roosterweight. I feel like she's not that big for the division.
I hope so. If Amal can make, I mean, I don't know, Rooster. So Maisa had to cut half her hair off to make roosterweight.
It's really small. I think it's 125.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is in kilograms, but you have to be pretty dang tiny.
It's probably lower than that. Like 125 is like Rooster for male. Rooster female is lighter.
Oh.
Let me look it up. I'm gonna go A-Rod. I'm taking A-Rod to get it done in her first year. I think she's in the zone, but she's gonna have a tough route. She's probably gonna have to beat 3 black belt world champions to get it done in Long Beach.
Yeah, I think the match to make there is Tammy Musumeci versus Ana Rodriguez. Tammy beat, 3 world champions on her way to the world title after not competing for a whole year. But you have to think that a layoff counts for something. Ana Rodriguez is hyperactive, competes as often as possible. That may give her the edge going into the world championships.
Rooster for females 107.
107.
Yeah, 107.
I was a bit off there at
With the gi on,
125.
107,
Oh my God, that is very small.
That's what I'm saying. Maisa is really tiny, and she had to cut half of her hair off just to make weight at No-Gi Worlds for Rooster. So, I mean,
107 pounds. Man, that makes me feel like a giant. But anyways, Ana Rodriguez is definitely, I think, a safe bet. But I'm hoping we see Tammy back because that's the match I want to see.
All right, now we going on to men's featherweight. You got Mateus Gabriel, you got Jamil. I mean, Jamil's had health issues and stuff. He took a bad loss at Spider, but it was to a lightweight. You got a bunch of vets out. You know what I'm saying?
What are you saying, Mike?
I love Mateus Gabriel, but I'm saying Gianni gets it done finally. Gianni's been so close. It's just Worlds has been the time where he hasn't got it done. I'm going Gianni Grippo, 2020 world champ.
Ooh, that's a bold call. I like that.
Gianni's won a lot of stuff, man.
I like it. No, he's hit the podium so many times. He's this close, and he, like I was saying earlier, one of the hardest workers. I think the money's got to be on Mateus Gabriel. He's had an amazing first year. He's a submission hunter and has beat some of the very best guys in this division. Looked great against people that fight a division heavier, such as Levi Jones-Leary there in the Spider final. Yeah, what was his record at Purple and Brown? It was like 100 wins and 0 losses. Like
Mateus Gabriel?
Yeah, we put out an article a little while back, and it was some insane statistic like that when he was still up in Dallas at Checkmat with Professor Kaiser. And, he was just a phenom then. Phenom now. I think he's going to do it again.
If Jamil comes back healthy, I mean, you can't count out Jamil. But I'm going to go with one of these vets. I'm going Gianni. What do you think about me taking Gianni to win this weight class, Ricardo? Think I'm an idiot?
No, I don't think you're an idiot. I don't think you're an idiot, but I got Mateus. It's nothing that,
It's hard to count on
Mateus. Feel like it's just his year, I think like I said, he was rookie of the year last year. Just amazing technique. He's so well-rounded. He could play. He's such a versatile guard player. I think it's Mateus Gabriel. I think he's one of Checkmat's elite level competitors, and I think it's his. The guys at Checkmat are telling me so much about him. I believe it. I've seen it, so I believe it. I think it's Mateus Gabriel.
Yeah, I'm tempted to take Paulo at feather just because I sort of have a feeling he's going to go that way, but you don't know with coming off of an injury and jumping into the season late. You don't know how ready he's going to be, how he's going to react. When he's Paulo Miyao, he's a beast. I mean, he'll probably come back really early and be all right. But that's what I'm worried about with Paulo. And then we have women's featherweight, right? We haven't done that one.
Haven't gotten there yet. Who are you picking? The Footlock Machine, the Bocchina Queen, Bianca Basilio? Who are you going to go with?
Fion's so good, but it's like Basilio's got her number. Basilio's 3-1 against her. I mean, first thing first, Fion's just got to keep her feet away from Bianca because Bianca's hit her with a straight ankle, hit her with a toe hold at ADCC. I'm going to say Bianca Basilio, gets her first world title in 2020. She hasn't got it yet. I think Bianca Basilio gets her first black belt gi world title in 2020. I think it's her time. I'm
going to go ahead and agree with you. She's consistently so good. Maybe had her best year ever last year, winning ADCC. She's got all the tools to get it done. I feel like she's hitting the prime of her career now, and I think it's her year as well. That seems like a smart choice to me.
What do you think, Ricardo? What do you think Fion's got to do to beat Bianca? How do you think? What game plan do you think Fion needs to use to avoid those leg locks and beat Bianca Basilio next year?
I think she just got to be first in all aspects. I think the issue with Bianca is she's so good at takedowns. She takes you down and she's on top. She'll grab your foot and snap it. If she pulls guard first, she'll play De La Riva, lop you to the side, and then go for the Bocchina on the same slag. So, you got to be first with her. And I think that the people who are first against her, like Bia Mesquita, if you look at how they've done it, I think that Fion needs to take a page out of that book. Pulling close guard, going for the arm, going for the back attacks. That's the way to do it. You eliminate the threat of the footlock at all costs. You keep her nice and closed, and you attack the back, you attack the neck, attack the arm. That's what I would vote. If I was a strategist of any sort, I would say go for that strategy. Bianca Mesquita laid out the plan how to beat Bianca Basilio. These other girls are just not sticking to it, and that's why they're getting caught. And that's why half of them, when they go raise Bianca Basilio's arm at the end of the match, they're not even standing there because they've been taken off the mat because of the EMS because their foot's busted up. So
it's brutal.
Taken off on a stretcher. Yeah. It's
exactly.
Bianca. Yeah, and then Bianca's just jumping around, happy little girl, and she just broke somebody's leg.
Yeah,
nicest person in jiu-jitsu.
Kind of terrifying if you think about it. Yeah.
But male lightweight. All right. As tempted as I am to go with one of the up-and-comers like Levi or John Talvis, you can't pick against Lepre. If Lepre comes back, it's his division.
I'm going to go with Levi. He's done it once. I think,
he beat Gabriel Hargis at Spider, too, though, which is wild.
It is wild.
He beat the middleweight world champ.
And so I think beat the middleweight and the featherweight world champ. I think Levi has all the talent, all the tools. He plays a risky game plan, which has gotten into trouble, and he continues to push that line every time with the double guard pulls. However, if he's able to overcome that predicament, then I think he could pull it off this year. We'll see. But Lepre's so good, and I feel like you catch him once, and that's it. And when I say catch, you get the advantage. Like it wasn't really much of
right.
It's a small catch.
If Ricardo, you're going Lepre, I'd imagine, right?
As your former president George Bush once said, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, never gonna fool me again." Something like that.
All right, yeah.
But anyways, no, he's not gonna fool Lepre again. Lepre is, like I said, he's the excellence of execution. I think he's had time to really evaluate what went wrong in that match, and he's gonna come back stronger than ever. If he does, it's Lepre, and if he doesn't, the rest of that division better thank Lucas Lepre because it's wide open, and Levi is definitely at the front runner.
So something to consider is Levi got him at Euros, right? Like getting Lepre in January is not the same as getting him in early June, late May. He shows up, he's prime form Lepre. He's like, you can't move him, you can't even gain an inch on him at Worlds. And another factor there, I sound like I'm making excuses for him. Another factor there at Euros was he had that crazy absolute run.
I was going to say, he did the absolute.
He fought Kenan Duarte the day before. Basically wrestled Kenan Duarte for half the match. He had to have been pretty worn out, but
yeah, he's not doing that at Worlds. There's no chances.
Did Did you guys hear the story of why he did the absolute? Like, he wasn't even supposed to. It's just like his friend that signed him up just signed him up for it or something. But he wasn't planning on doing it.
He got pranked
and he was
into
like,
beating Kenan Duarte? Is that what you're telling me?
I know. No. It wasn't pranked. But I believe he said that, his friend, Elan Santiago, you guys know him. He's one of Ted Ade's good friends. And he's old, Alliance TT guy. But basically, I think that he signed Lepre. If my memory serves me correctly, I believe that he signed Lepre up for the absolute. And Lepre was like, well, Lepre's like the nicest guy in the world. He's like, well, my name is already there, so I might as well do it. And then he just went in and had like amazing performances. So I love that. I love that story. Lepre is like such a nice guy, such a humble champion. I think it's his. I got a little story for you guys. It's Uncle Ricky's story time.
Okay.
Back in I think it was 2007, 2008, I believe it was, Lepre's first black belt world title. I was hanging out with some of the Alliance guys at the time, and no one knew who he was. And he was in the semifinals against Celcinho, and everyone, a lot of the older Alliance guys were just like, yeah, good luck, Lucas. Like they were kind of like thought that the lamb was going out there for the slaughter. It turns out he tapped out Celso in the semifinals and then goes to the finals and win. I believe that's what happened. But he made a name for himself. He can overcome anything. We see that match with Kenan Duarte. Look at it this way: Kenan is in the running for the best black belt of the year. He's won every single event, and Lepre did that to him at Europeans. Lepre is something special. One of the greatest of all time, Lucas Lepre.
Easily on that list of GOATs for sure.
Yeah, and I think if he doesn't come back, I'm gonna go. It's going down to Levi versus John Talvis, one of those two.
Like it. And then rounding out our champs discussion here with the female lightweight division, question mark is around Bia Mesquita at this point.
I'm gonna say
She'll be back.
Bia Mesquita. I don't know. She's been on vacation for months now. It seems like.
She did her arm. She had the arm
She'll
injury
be
there
back,
at ADCC.
Yeah, she's talking about MMA. She'll be back. Bia will come back and win it. If she doesn't come back, I think Fionn comes up and beats Gabby McComb in the final. I think Fionn will come up and do lightweight.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick. I do think Fionn would make the jump to try and maybe.
I think Fionn might do it regardless. She signed up at light for Euros right now.
Yeah, okay.
We might see Fionn at lightweight this year, I think.
That would be very interesting. Switch up to that division, but I agree. If B
is Catherine Perret in that division?
I think she goes back and forth from there to middleweight. She's another one to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, if Bia Mesquita is out, Catherine has a submission win over Fionn. Her and Gabby McComb have fought a bunch of times. Catherine is a disruptor. If Bia's in, she wins. If Bia's out, without a doubt, it's Catherine Perret. I was trying to rhyme something there. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah. The division gets a lot more interesting if Bia's not there. But if Bia's there, I mean, she's the GOAT. It's hard to pick against her.
100%. Well, guys, I think that takes us up to the limit here. We had a great time. Very excited to be back in 2020. Gi season's around the corner. Non-stop action on FloGrappling starting just next weekend with event after event after event. Do not forget that the 2019 FloGrappling Awards for the best grapplers of the year, best match, best submission are going on right now. You have until next Tuesday to get in your votes for that. Don't delay. Do it now. And we will be announcing the results on Thursday.
So, rundown. We have 3 fight to wins this month. 134, 135, 136. All of them got really good main events and some other good matches. Euros for a week at the end of the month. Jits King is coming. We have who's number one? February 8th, Costa Mesa. If you're going to be out there for kids, pans, or whatever, who's number one the event? FloGrappling Tix, TIX. We have Kenan Cornelius versus Roberto Jimenez, Nicholas Marigali versus Victor Hugo. And then 12 or 13 fights with the best color belts in the world. I picked some really exciting color belts to go out there and fight. It's going to be a great one. You should come check it out.
All right, guys. Well, Ricardo, thanks for calling in from the Great North. And we will see you guys at our normal scheduled time next Wednesday. That's at 11 a.m. EST. And then we'll catch up then. So have a great rest of your week. Happy New Year. And we'll see you guys on the next show.